Good.
Right, good afternoon, and it's another welcome to Ryan Kavanagh here at Excitation Engineering Services. Ryan, how are you?
Hi, Chris. Yeah, very well, thanks.
Good. And today is another episode of our Lichfield and Tamworth Chamber in Focus programme. We've had, I think, 8 or 9 businesses now featured, and it's great to have Ryan talk about Excitation and Engineering Services, Tamworth-based business. And really a real sort of highlight of our year across the chamber this year with their story and their positive engagement across many areas. Of course, the headline one being the Business of the Year and the Excellence in International Business Award winners at the GBCC Awards earlier in the summer. So, Ryan, first, as always, congratulations. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that, and I probably won't be the last, but congratulations on that win. And really, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to catch up with you today as a Tamworth-based business. Just to start off with, tell us a little bit about your business. Tell us about EES and what you do and where you sit currently.
Hi, Chris. Yeah, thanks for that. We're very proud of the awards that we've won recently. We're Excitation and Engineering Services, based in Tamworth since we founded in 2011. Mm-hmm. We started off as a service company to the power industry. We specialise in excitation systems, which is a part of the generator control on power stations. And then we've sort of grown into a wider business, all related to excitation systems. So now we do design and manufacturing of excitation systems that we supply to various power station customers, and we also do various other consultancy type work, training and support of different customers that own this equipment. Absolutely. Such as maintenance and ongoing testing and that kind of thing.
Wow, so yeah, a very much I suppose a niche subject to a degree, but in power stations, of course, a key industry and a real successful part of that particular industry. So you mentioned about that worldwide link. I mean, I've been in the sort of Tamworth area for the last couple of years, and it's always been a real exciting sort of understanding to unearth some of those businesses locally who are based in our town, but look to all the corners of the world, and again in your application and in your sort of award side, the International Business Award was of course around the international trade. So just tell us a little bit about how far you reach from your Tamworth base across the world.
Yeah. So we've worked on 6 continents. So we've worked in America, in South America, Argentina, Peru, and Bolivia.
Have you been to all of those, or is that the other staff that have to go?
I've been to some of them, but not all of them. We've done quite a lot in Africa. Got a project at the minute in Ghana.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
And we've done quite a bit in West Africa. Recently, we've been doing a project in Australia, Western Australia, in Perth, and various bits in Asia as well, in China and Malaysia and Korea as well. So
every box apart from Antarctica, by the sounds of it. That's a good resume.
And the thing that sort of sets us aside a little bit is that we don't just trade with these regions, but we actually have feet on the ground. We visit them and provide a service locally to our customers out there. So it's not just
interesting is that, and how I suppose across each country or each continent there's various different ways of working. That must be one of the biggest challenges is balancing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the technical side of it is the part that's most familiar.
Yeah.
They're run slightly and operated slightly differently, but the technical crux of it all is the same. But obviously you've got different cultures, different languages, different standards as well of how things work. So that's all things that we've learned to get used to and to work with.
And I suppose that's an ongoing plan, and that's down to the quality of your staff and that awareness when they're out in the field at those different places to pick up those cultural cultural differences and awarenesses, I suppose.
Absolutely, and of course that's also why these our customers are looking to us for that we bring that bit of extra expertise or that speciality that they're looking for.
Absolutely. That's fascinating, and I know a key area was the US and the nuclear power station industry in the US as well, which you work quite extensively on. Again, give us an idea of, I suppose, of the size and the scale of some of those projects. There's obviously I suppose the scale must be huge in relation to other countries as well.
Yeah. The project we work on in America is on the East Coast. It's a nuclear power station on the James River.
Okay.
So that each one of those generators is over 1,000 MVA, which is bigger than any machine in this country.
Wow.
Yeah, into perspective, yeah. So there's quite a bit of responsibility there when we're working on their system.
Yeah, and I suppose a hugely complicated task of when you're looking at those generators and maintaining them and looking after them and installing them in all the different areas. That must be a huge task, and the scale must be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, that's something we're very proud of. So.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And you mentioned again around, around that trade side. Obviously, the different design and manufacture areas is important, but perhaps bringing it a little bit closer to home now as well in terms of that engagement with the next generation. I know a key part of your application was around, the work you do with universities and colleges. We all know skills gaps and engineering gaps across the world, or certainly in this country, are marked. Just give us an idea of how you've helped working with some universities and bringing through that next generation, if you don't mind the pun, but also the next the next generation of what you do as a business to pass that on to younger people.
Yeah, we identified probably a couple of years ago now that one of the biggest limitations to our growth was having the engineers skilled in these areas to support the customers we've got. We talked about all these far away places and the big opportunities we've got in various markets, but we've got to continue to maintain and develop our skill sets to be able to support those customers. And so we started to look at whether we could bring in trained electrical engineers, which we've done, but then also looking further ahead, bringing in graduates and undergraduates, and then training them and letting them get involved in projects so that they develop with the company and grow into the skill sets and the areas that we need. So 2 years ago, we started with an undergraduate placement student, and that was a massive success. And I think the feedback from the universities was really positive, because we were able to let that student work on live projects and contribute to real problems that we were trying to solve, rather than a training program that was something separate. And then because that was such a success, we took on 2 more undergraduates the year after. And then this year, just starting now, the original undergraduate has come back as a full-time graduate engineer.
Good.
Another graduate engineer started with her, and an undergraduate as well. So we've got three trainees at the moment.
Yeah, that must be that must be a very sort of proud moment from your point of view, bringing these young students through, and as you say, really growing the business for the future. And I suppose that's, as you say, is vitally important in your industry, but as any other industry as well. Yeah,
we've got to keep up with the demands of our customers and make sure that we're developing those skills. But like you say, it's good to be able to offer those opportunities to younger people, and also they bring a lot to the company as well. They come at problems from a slightly different angle, or with a slightly different look on things, and so we're very open to that, and that generates a really good atmosphere for everybody to work in.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you say, it's building that knowledge base for across the world. It must be a very competitive industry. Do you find that there's a lot of those electrical engineering graduates? Are you having to sort of choose from a large pool? Is that perhaps something that that you need more of, or what's the broader sort of industry view around that?
I think we're very, very niche and specialist in what we do. And so certainly a lot of students might want to broaden the horizons a little bit and see sort of the wider industry, because there's so much in electrical engineering and the energy industry as a whole. You can work in all different disciplines of engineering. So we're electrical engineering, and then within electrical we're another speciality again. But like myself, I was quite clear that what I wanted to go into, and quite keen on the idea of becoming a specialist and becoming knowledgeable in one particular area. And the students we've got, they're showing an interest in that and developing their own niches and their own little things where other colleagues and even customers come to them for a certain thing.
Yeah.
So that's really motivating, I think, when you're the person for a given specialism.
Yeah, an expert in your field, as you can call yourself. But yeah, starting that young age in a field such as yours, I suppose the world's very much your oyster as you go through your career, and yeah, I suppose the technology and the extent of that growth is massive, and yeah, I suppose that's a great way, isn't it, to learn and do what you need to do. How much has it changed internationally in terms of technology in the 10 years that you've been involved? I'm sure you've had to do quite a lot of studying yourself over the years to keep up with various things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest changes we've seen have been at home in this country. Yeah. When we started as a service company, most of our customers were big mainline fossil fuel power stations.
Yeah.
And in the 10 years or so that we've been going, there's a lot less of those stations around, as you know. Rusley power stations no longer in service. So as a company, we've had to adapt to the changing market in that sense, and we've now got a lot more customers that have got smaller distributed assets, distributed power, which is very much in line with the sort of general trend of the way the energy industry is going. So
and I suppose that's very much made you look to international markets, perhaps more so than you would have done 10 years ago, which then brings its own challenges as well, I suppose, and successes.
Yeah, potentially. I think what's happened is we've looked at smaller machines and smaller size sites, and then that's built up our expertise in those areas that we've then been able to seek overseas. Certainly, like I said at the start, most of our customers are power generation. But we've now got a lot of customers that have got embedded power within a different industrial site, so a chemical production site or other sort of heavy industry, oil and gas, where they've got their own power generation embedded in the process. We've picked up a lot of those type of customers, both in the UK and overseas. So there's been a huge change over the last 10 years, and I think with various commitments that we've got about changing or reducing the carbon intensity of the economy, then we'll continue to see those changes, and we'll have to continue to adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we wouldn't be complete an interview around this without mentioning the current situation sort of internationally in terms of the pandemic. Obviously the work you do is so very different to a lot of businesses, but I suppose that international travel side is important. Where do you see the next 6 to 12 months again with travel and with those contracts? I suppose your roles are pretty important for the running of these countries. So you'd like to hope you'd be seen as key workers in some areas, you would assume.
Yeah, that's right. I think we haven't done much international travelling at all since lockdown, and over the next 6 months it'll be about us continuing to maintain the relationship with our overseas customers and finding a way that we can start travelling again and working on their sites. In the meantime, we've obviously all got used to using Zoom and Microsoft Teams and other tools to sort of make the world smaller in that sense. And so we've stayed in touch with all our customers and supported them remotely. But a lot of what we do, you do have to be present and there looking at the equipment. And so that's the next step for us to get out of this, is to see how we can can get back to seeing our customers overseas.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's absolutely right. Okay, brilliant. Well, no, a really interesting chat, Ryan. I really appreciate giving an insight into such an interesting industry and a wide connections you have across the world. I suppose just finally, I ask everyone this at the end of the interview and put you on the spot a little bit. What's your one piece of advice to a business who perhaps may be starting out in a similar industry, or indeed is already in a similar industry to yourself? What's your one piece of advice you would give a business about how to be successful?
Listen to the customer.
Okay.
What does the customer want? I mean, that's something we've excelled in, I think, is what does the customer actually want? And then we approach the problem then and offer them a solution to resolve exactly what they've come to us about. I think it's very easy to have an idea in your mind about what you want to provide a customer, and that doesn't always align with what they want. So that would be my piece of advice. And
that works whether you're looking at power generation, serving pints, or being a solicitor or a lawyer. Who knows? That's a really overarching view. So
absolutely, yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Wonderful. Well, no, thanks. I really appreciate your time. It's an absolute pleasure to hear. Congratulations again on the awards. Congratulations for that real highlighting what a business in Tamworth can achieve and how far it can go across the world, and how expert and an expert you are in your industry. So great to catch up, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon. And thanks for your time, Ryan. Pleasure.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.